welcome to Choosing Plants. My name is Heather, and this is a channel where I try different 30-day challenges to see if I can find a vegan lifestyle that has sustainability and easiness and all those good things. So what I am doing today is actually I'm making breakfast for my kids today, and I thought you guys might actually want to see this. This is a banana rice pudding recipe. It's delicious, honestly, guys. If you like rice pudding, you will really like this. Couple of things. It's real easy to change this to suit whatever your needs are, your preferences are. So, for example, I'm going to use 4 cups of soy milk. It's unsweetened. There's nothing in here but soy and water. However, if you wanted to use almond milk, I don't see any reason why you couldn't. If you wanted to use I just wouldn't use something sweetened because we're going to put sugar in it. And if you want to use something that already had vanilla in it, that's totally fine too, because I'm going to add vanilla. So whatever you want to use for milk is not really an issue. So I've taken this recipe from a website that I found that was for dairy free and just totally changed it to be to work for my family and for my kids. So if you wanted to add things at the end that I can't add, such as cinnamon, I would highly suggest that. Bananas and rice pudding and cinnamon just kind of go together. Raisins would be awesome in this. I have a couple of kids that like to sprinkle raisins and cinnamon over the top before they eat it. I have one child that absolutely detests cinnamon, so that doesn't ever happen, but no big deal. And vanilla, to each his own. Whatever you want to use. If you use pure vanilla, if you want to just scrape out some vanilla paste, if you want to, we make our own vanilla. So we make it out of potato vodka actually. So this is our version of vanilla. Yeah, so whatever you want to use is totally fine. There are very few ingredients in this recipe. One of the main important things though is that you use brown rice. And the reason that you use brown rice is because it just has a hardiness to it that white rice doesn't. Your white rice is going to fall apart once you start simmering it with the milk, and it's going to become gunky and it doesn't hold up well. So what you need to have cooked 2 cups of brown rice. That's your starter. So 2 cups of brown rice, cook it however you choose. Personally, the absolute easiest way to cook rice, in my opinion, is in an Instant Pot. I don't do rice on the stove ever anymore because I'm not good at it, first of all. I always end up with it not being completely cooked or being stuck to the bottom of the pan or something along those lines. It's very frustrating. So I just don't bother anymore. Or you can use a pressure cooker on the stove if you have one of those. I do not. Or the electric pressure cooker. So I have had other pressure cookers, electric pressure cookers, and I have found that I really, really like the Instant Pot simply because it's got a metal pot inside, which I don't care about the non-stick issue. If you use non-stick pans, whatever, no big deal. Do what you want. But I don't like it because I can't clean it. So if your potatoes get stuck or whatever, yeah, you can't really scrub it. And with this, I could totally get in there with like a Brillo pad and get it clean. And I like that very, very much. I'm very much into my pots and pans just being nice and clean and me being able to be rough with them without worrying about scratching them. So we have 2 Instant Pots. That's what we use now. Anyway, I'll put a link in the description box below. If you don't have one yet, I would recommend it. We actually use ours quite a bit. But anyway, so you want to cook your rice however you see fit. I have in my Instant Pot that's right here, I made 2 cups of brown rice. And the easiest way to make brown rice in an Instant Pot, and it is quite easy, you put 2 cups of brown rice in the bottom, 2.5 cups of water, kind of shake it around a little bit. You don't have to stir it, just move it around a little bit so that the rice disperses in the water. And then cook it on, just do manual high pressure for 22 minutes. Obviously it takes a little while for the pressure to build up, and then you could do an instant release on it, like a the fast release on it if you wanted to, where you just take the pressure off and go. Or you can do like me and put your rice in to cook and go take a shower and get ready for the day, and then come back downstairs when you're ready, and it's been sitting here done for 19 minutes. No problem. It's just fine. So going to get started. I'm actually going to move the camera so that you guys can see in the pot, so you can see what's going on, and let's do this. Alright guys, so first things first, what we're going to do is turn off the keep warm function on our rice, and we're going to just push pretty much any button. This particular Instant Pot has a saute button, so I'm going to push saute. However, if yours does not have a saute button, you push any of the buttons and it starts to saute. So it's really kind of silly. So 3 cups, and that's just telling us that it's ready to go. 3 cups of whatever plant milk it is you decided to use. Okay, 3 cups of rice milk. Or actually mine is soy milk, but I used to make it with rice milk. And we're going to give that a good stir, mix that in completely. Alright guys, so what this is going to do is it's going to start to essentially boil. So while we are waiting for that to start doing its thing, we are going to measure out the rest of our ingredients and put them in our NutriBullet. So let's get that done. Alright, so we gotta be quick about this because the rice with the soy milk on it is already starting to get burbling and hot, so that's awesome. What we're going to do is take a NutriBullet and we're going to put 1 cup of your plant-based milk in here. We're also going to put 2 tablespoons of whatever starch it is you're planning to use. I'm using tapioca flour. You can use this. You can use cornstarch. You can use whatever works for you. And I want 2 tablespoons, and there's probably about 2 tablespoons in this bag. So there we go. That was easy. Don't even need to use my tablespoon measuring. Okay, and then we're going to put in 4 very ripe bananas. I have a couple of bananas that are more ripe than others, but that's okay. Just divide them up and stick them in your NutriBullet. I've got some bubbling action going on in here too, guys. Ah, hurry. Okay, so here's this. It's banana number 3. Banana number 3. And then my last little banana that one of the ladies at work was going to throw out, and I was like, hey, I'll use that. She's like, okay. She said, I can't eat this, it's too ripe. I was like, yeah, no, I wouldn't eat that either. But it's perfect for making anything with banana goo. Okay, gotta wash my hands, be right back. All right, and then to our banana and milk mixture, we're going to add our vanilla, however it is that you use that. Use like a teaspoon or something. Use whatever it is that you would think would be appropriate for this recipe, guys. I am using more simply because ours is not as strong as a normal vanilla, okay? So ours is a little bit less strong. And then, seeing as this is starting to burble a little bit here, I'm going to give this a stir. It's doing exactly what it's supposed to do. This is great. We're just gonna mix it up a little bit. You can still see all the milk in it. It's not gotten to the point where it's thickening yet, but okay. NutriBullet. Now it's time to blend. I don't have my top. All right, guys, so let's blend this up. We have banana goo. That's what we needed. I'll have to say, this stuff totally looks drinkable. It looks like a banana smoothie. Look at this. Doesn't that look delicious? Okay, I'm going to move the camera back over so you can see what's going on in the pot, and we're going to put everything in. You're also going to add, at this point, you'll see me just dumping some in because I don't need to measure it because that's what's left in my bag. But you need like half a cup of brown sugar. A little more if you like things a little bit more sweet, a little bit less if you don't want it to be nearly as sweet. My kids are good with just having a half a cup of sugar in the whole entire thing. They don't need more than that. You might want more than that. I don't know. Do try it, see what you think. If you think it needs more sugar, just add a little bit more. It's no big deal. Okay, so let's move you. All right, guys, so this is what it looks like when it started to do its saute mode. And you can hear that. It's starting to get stuck to the bottom, which is absolutely fine because, like I told you before, Instant Pot is awesome. I can clean it. So when you mix it around like this and you see that it's starting to, the milk is starting to evaporate or blend into the rice, now is a really good time to put in your bananas. All right, mix that up again. Okay, let's add the sugar. Like I said, about a half cup should do. I think that's about a half cup. That might be 3/4 of a cup. I don't know. That's probably about half a cup. If you're worried about your brown sugar having clumps in it, you could totally have mixed this into the NutriBullet and blend it. That would be absolutely fine. Then you would have to have no concerns about having any brown sugar clumps if your brown sugar is clumpy. You see how creamy this is, guys? So you can be done with this anytime you want. You can have this any level of creaminess that you would desire. So if you want it pretty runny, just be done. It's totally fine. You can eat it just like this and have it be more like a soupy-ish type banana rice pudding. I am going to cook mine a little bit longer than this because I would like to have it be a little bit thicker than this for my kids. I know how they like it, and they would like it a little thicker. So I will show you guys what this looks like when it is done cooking. Alrighty guys, so this is what my rice pudding looks like when it is done. It is pretty darn thick. My kids will really enjoy this. And if you wanted it to be thicker, again, just keep cooking it for a little bit longer. Add a little bit less liquid. You know, all those things will work. Add a little bit more cooked rice, whatever it is that you choose to do. But this is a really great consistency. And I've made myself a little bowl to go. And that is mine. Isn't that pretty? Got some cinnamon and some raisins all mixed up in there. I am totally going to enjoy that. I hope you guys enjoyed this recipe. Let me know in the bottom comments below if you've made this. Again, add a little more sugar if you think it needs it. Add a little less sugar if you don't like it that sweet. Add a little bit more vanilla if you would like that extra vanilla flavor. Make sure your bananas are super ripe because it just makes it that much better. And if you want it to be less soupy, less gooey, make 3 cups of rice rather than 2 cups of rice and use everything else, keep the same. And then it would be just very, very hearty and very stew-like consistency rather than more like a soupy pudding-ish type consistency. I'm not exactly sure what you would call this consistency, but flavor-wise, it's excellent. So I hope you guys really enjoy this recipe, and let me know in the comments field what you think.